Greetings, beloved. Welcome to this evening here on Togetherness Media. We have a beautiful show for you today. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Togetherness Media this evening. So, we have an exciting guest. We have Coach Bonnie, who's going to break down the wheel of balance. Coach Bonnie.
Hi.
How are you
Hello,
today?
Anthony. I'm doing great. Good to see you again.
You as well. Always an absolute pleasure. So, first of all, would you like to tell us a little bit about the Wheel of Balance and about the book?
Sure. So, Wheel of Wellbeing has been a integrated modality of mind, body, and spirit
Mm-hmm.
that was established in 2009. And the philosophy behind it is that uh, if we want to live a balanced life, if we want to have a peaceful mind, the whole body needs to be in balance. We can't
Exactly.
just focus on the mind or just the body and say that you are healed. So
Yes.
the mind, body, and the spirit all are connected. Now we know more than ever that hologenically, we all emotions are all over our bodies, not just in
Mm.
our head.
Yes.
When we get stressed, when we get anxious, when we have a traumatic experience, we feel that in our body as well, physically. So, Wheel of Wellbeing's focus is on the whole person, not just the mind.
Hmm.
And when Dr. Sadigh wrote the book Balancing the Wheel about a year and a half ago, he emphasizes on the eight spokes of the wheel and how each spoke needs to be in balance in order for the wheel of our life to travel smoothly down the path of our lives.
Yes, the wheel on the bus keep going round and round. It's so inter-
Exactly.
it's so interesting because like I was speaking on a show the other day and I was talking about how I'm able to forgive people is that I base it on certain things and how if I look at it as a healer. And if certain aspects of their life are off balance, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, financial, are the ones I did. But I left out some of the beautiful ones that you added in their recreational, relational, environmental. And like it's how those aspects of health are off balance, and that's how I'm able to forgive them because I look at it as a healer. I look at it as they're not healthy in certain areas. Would you mind just breaking down some of the wheels, some of the spokes on the wheels, and
Sure.
how they affect people?
Sure. So the first one is the physical
Yes.
as the foundation of everything that we built upon. The physical or our physicality or the temple that we live in is the
Hmm.
most important part of this whole wheel.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have that physical wellness, then nothing else that follows can be uh, healthy.
Yeah.
So taking care of our physicality is very important.
Like in sports, they
Um,
say the greatest ability is availability, and
Absolutely,
if your body's not
absolutely.
available, then the rest of you just even if the rest of you is willing, if the mind is willing and the body is not able, you can't do anything.
Absolutely. Yes. And the beauty of the way we put these spokes together is that one feeds off of the other. So
Hmm.
they trickle down and they impact each other.
Yeah,
So physical is first,
like
taking care of
dominoes
your
almost.
body. Exactly.
Yeah,
Taking care of your sleep, food, how you are, what you're putting in your body, how much sleep are you getting, even sexuality, how much healthy sex you're getting. So all of that complies into one healthy body. Okay.
hmm,
And then after the body, it's our mental. The
hmm,
mental is how we can calm the mind and how peaceful we are. So mental and emotional go hand in hand, which is the third spoke, the emotional. How well are we able to speak about our emotions? How
hmm.
are we able to um, express our desires, our wants, our needs, and how vulnerable are we to our emotions? How uh, a lot of now these days, being happy
Mm.
is a trend. I want to be happy, having a happy mindset, and you
Be
know,
joyful. Happiness is
yes,
a condition.
which
Joy is a spirit. I always say,
exactly,
no matter what's going on in my life, I can have things to be mad over. I can have things to be sad over, but I'll always have the undercurrent of joy that sustains me like
exactly.
a buoy in the middle of the ocean. When circumstance tells me that I should be drowning, that's that. Joy is that life raft that keeps your spirit afloat and keeps your spirit buoyant.
Yes. And a lot of people misunderstanding how beautifully you explained the difference between happiness, the state of happiness, and joy that is what we are striving for.
Yes,
Uh, Being happy, being in that mindset of joy and positive mindset, it's not the absence of negativity.
it's not.
It's not the absence, no, it's
Yeah,
not the absence of not feeling the negative emotion.
exactly.
Sadness comes up for us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, any kind of negative emotion, anger, all of it, it's normal. We are human
Mm-hmm.
beings and we feel emotions. And to say that I want to be happy and I don't want to feel any negative emotion, it's actually draining your energy from being happy. It's stopping you
Exactly.
from being happy. So, emotionally, we need to be able to feel all the emotions, accept all the emotion, and then be able to go through the emotions. Know that the emotions, no matter how negative, how sad, or how frustrating they are, they're temporary.
You,
We
you know,
we we will go through them.
and another thing I
Right.
think that really helps me with even when I have those other emotions is having a state of gratitude. Even
Absolutely.
so even when I'm happy or mad about something, when I'm upset, when I'm sad about something, I have such a sense of gratitude for life in general. Like I always say, every breath is a blessing. When I hold my breath, I'm holding my blessings. It like allows
Absolutely.
me to get through those hard times, and then also having a sense of hope. Like you said, it's only temporary. We used to have this song I used to sing in my grandmother's church. It went, "Weeping may endure for the night, but joy is going to come in the morning." We had another one that says, "Don't wait till the battle's over, shout now." In the midst of my
Yes.
battles, I give praise that they're already won, that the wars are already won. In the midst of my battles, in the midst of my turmoil, in the midst of my pain, in the midst of my suffering, I rejoice already because I believe that the outcome will be the one that is designed and destined for me, and that these lessons, these are just teaching moments so that I can be a better person, so that my test will be somebody else's test, will be a testimony for somebody else to help them through it the next day.
Absolutely. And then in I want to switch a little bit of what you said, hoping and then believing, because
Mm. Thank you for making
at
the
any
distinction.
given at any given moment, we can either be in a state of negative emotion or a positive state of mind.
Mm.
So gratitude immediately shifts the negativity into
Mm.
positive, because
Exactly.
if we think about our mind as a container that
Mm.
holds our emotions, it can only hold the negativity or it can hold positivity.
Yes.
So whenever that negativity is in your vessel, gratitude substitutes that negativity into positivity, and believing that I am the creator of my life,
Mm.
believing that I have the power to create the happiness or the joy that I want, regardless of what am I going through at this moment right now.
Exactly. So, talk to us about the next book on the will.
So the next book is recreational. uh,
Mm.
recre- uh, Recreation, I mean, we are social beings. We are social
Is,
beings,
oh,
and
is it a relational or recreational? Okay.
relational. I went one back. I thought we spoke about relational. Relationship, we are social beings, right?
Yes.
We need to connect to other people. We
Mm.
need to have connection in our lives. We need to have other people in our lives. And uh, in any given moment, we are relating to someone else or to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So if we if we have the other previous one, the way we relate to others becomes so much smoother, so much easier, so much flawless, I would want to say. So relationship is definitely important, and how we show up in our relationship.
I have a
Go ahead.
question.
I know you're gonna. Sure.
Do you believe that's why animals are such amazing therapy, oftentimes for helping people relax and get healthier? Because it's something that's easily relatable for a lot of people, and they can relate without fear of judgment,
Without fear of judgment, without fear of expectation. It's just
rejection.
pure
Yeah,
love.
yeah,
Rejection, you're just receiving love.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's why that's
And
so healthy. Okay, makes
yes,
sense.
yes,
I love
yes.
that aspect. I love that. I love that addition to the spoke, because that's one that I never really, when I talked about it and thought about it, that was one I didn't think of. And the one you're talking about next, I didn't have it in my list either. Recreational. Tell us a little bit about recreational.
Recreational, yes. So I mean, we are, because of our surroundings, because of how life is busy, we are mostly in our head.
Hmm.
Okay. Recreational spokes of the wheel allows us to step out of the mind and get grounded.
Mm.
Any kind of nature walk, any kind of uh, outdoor activity, it brings us out, it brings the mind to a certain point of grounding.
Mm.
It clears the mind so that we can be more focused, more productive. Even our relationship can benefit more, our mental health can benefit more. So recreational might not seem as important when we have other duties or other aspects of life that we need to get to. That's why I always say, even if on your busiest day, when you are really doing work and being productive, take a 10-minute break every 90 minutes.
Mm.
Because at every 90 minutes, our energy needs to get recharged.
Mm. That's beautiful. Every 90 minutes.
Every 90 minutes,
They should do,
take a
like,
break.
schools should pay attention like that for kids, like for students, because oftentimes
Exactly.
students, one of the reasons a lot of kids get burnt out when they're in school is that they go from class to class, and there's basically just enough time to get from one class to the other class, and then and they have to sit around. And especially for children, I can imagine that is even more important. And I know one thing,
Absolutely.
and this one is so important to me, is because I know, without, sometimes I'll just stop and I'll just dance around my house, and dance,
Beautiful.
and it fills me up. Like, it's good for my body, it's good for my mental, it's good for my emotional, and how having that
Yes.
recreational space can just help everything else in your life heal.
Exactly. Yeah, as you said, the domino effect, that everything relates to each other, and everything feeds upon the
Yeah.
other spoke. So yes, recreational is very important. Taking care of yourself and
What's your favorite
getting
recreational?
your.
What's one of your favorites?
I do a lot of walking. I do weight training Mondays and Wednesday. We do biking. Me and my husband do kayaking, and I just love being out in the nature.
Wow,
I love being
you guys
around
are having
nature.
fun.
Yes, we
That,
do.
that sounds beautiful. That's why
Yes,
two have such a healthy, beautiful relationship and beautiful marriage,
thank
because you
you.
guys understand how to have fun together. Um,
Exactly,
environmental.
exactly.
Tell us about
Environmental.
environmental.
I mean, without our environment, where would we be? I mean,
Hmm.
it's not, it's fun, it's interesting. The other day I was talking to someone, and uh, it wasn't necessarily about environmental, but something he said that uh, it was very alarming to me.
Hmm.
And he said, it doesn't affect me directly, so I don't care.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we might not see where that cigarette butt goes. We
Hmm.
might not see where that water bottle goes. We might not uh, immediately see the effects that we are consciously or subconsciously putting on the environment, but it is affecting us.
Yeah.
Okay? It
Do
is affecting us directly.
Do you know when I first realized that how the environment I'm in really affected me, and how my mood was? I was in my early 20s, and I was spending a winter in New York, and I was doing music and everywhere in shows. Money was good, life was good, and I was living my dream, performing everywhere, and I was sad, and I had no idea why. It wasn't the cold, even though I wasn't used to the cold. It was my first time ever wearing long johns, so like long johns are not sexy at all, but I want to stay warm. But then like one day, I saw a blade of grass growing out of the sidewalk. I was like, oh my God, I have not seen any green life in weeks. Somebody take me to a park, not now, but right now, because I need to see something green. I'm a Cali boy. I've been in California my entire life, and I was living in Berkeley at the time because I had just graduated from college not too long before. And I realized how just even things like having green life around, the colors, and the colors and how those things will affect your mood and affect your health,
Absolutely.
even if everything else in your life is perfect.
Yes, beautifully said. So environment is very important. Even the environment that inside your home or inside your office, what are you putting around you? Even the colors that you choose. Are you organized? Are you used to working in clutter? So when I sit to get to work, I need to have my surrounding very organized and decluttered, and that makes me to become more productive. It opens my mind. So look around your surrounding, even your immediate environment. What colors are you putting around you? What is your house chaotic? Is it organized? Is it decluttered? Because all of that, without even knowing and realizing, puts pressure on you. It either stresses you out or it calms you down.
How does do you recommend feng shui? Are there health benefits to feng shuiing your home?
Absolutely. And yes. I mean, just feeling it, even yourself, you don't have to go to an expert. If you do it, that's great. But even yourself, just feel around your environment, see what feels calming, relaxing. Because and nowadays we spend so much more time in our homes, right?
Yeah.
And that space needs to be calming, needs to be inviting, it needs to be inspiring in a way.
Yeah.
So pay attention to your environment. If you need to declutter something, go ahead and do that.
Beautiful.
So that really is important.
All right. So the next one is a favorite of mine. It's something I've been studying my entire life from different disciplines from around the world. Talk about spiritual health.
So spirituality is that awareness and that connection that we have with, if you want to call it God, if you want to call it higher power, if you want to call it universe, but
Source, or whatever you want to call it.
Source, exactly. Realizing that there is energetically something more than just us. There is something bigger than us. Just realizing that. And there's one thing that I want to mention is that people are becoming very spiritual. They meditate, they do all these kinds of things to become awakened, to become spiritual, yet they forget. So this is the point that I want to make, is that the balance is very important. You can't be all up here and you can't be all down here. There is a balance between your mind and your heart. So that connection, always realizing that yes, there is that energy, that source outside of me, yet I am a physical body in this spiritual world.
Mind, body, spirit.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So,
all right. And the next one is one that unfortunately many people have been having problems with this type of health, especially with the current pandemic. Talk about the next one.
financial.
Yes.
So the way we are talking about financial is not necessarily money wise,
Mm.
okay? Because when you are abundant,
Mm-hmm.
when you are wealthy, you're not only wealthy in material stuff. When you have all the other seven spokes in your life and you feel balanced in all of them, the eighth spoke or the financial spoke is a given. Do you feel abundant in yourself?
Yeah.
Now, taking it a step further, as you said, a lot of people have problem with their financial situation at the moment. I want to invite all the viewers to really think about their financial blueprint, okay? Because as as children, we were raised with a certain money blueprint.
Mm.
How did your parents talk about money? Was money always something that was scarce? If I say money is, what comes after that? What is
Mm-hmm.
your immediate thought? A lot of people say that money is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
Only corrupt people can be rich.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be spiritual and wealthy at the same time.
Yeah.
So list all of these beliefs that you were raised with from your childhood. How was it that you were raised around money? And once you have that list, see how much of it, how many of the statements that you wrote down is actually limiting you.
Mm-hmm.
Because money is, it's not scarce. It is abundant amount of
Yes.
money all around us. It's just being creative and having that mindset of abundance
Mm-hmm.
that allows us to have that financial security.
Do you know what I say about money? The energy of money is the energy of water. That's why they call it currency, because it's like the current.
Mm,
Where does the river stop? The river stops at the bank. They call it cash flow. It slips through your fingers. If they want to stop your money, they freeze your assets. If you want to turn something into money, you liquidate it. If people want to show off their money, they make it rain. So if we understand,
beautiful.
and when it becomes stagnant, and when it becomes stagnant, it becomes sick. It has to continue moving. It has to continue
That's
moving,
right.
and it has to continue in a flow. That's why they call it cash flow. So as it
Yes.
moves around, and oftentimes people don't understand, like, so the number of, in numerology, the number of abundance is 8. And everybody knows if you turn 8 sideways, it becomes infinity symbol. And I tell people to imagine that that river is a water, like that there's water moving through that infinity symbol. And sometimes being not understanding the abundance of the universe and holding on to things and being too tight, because we said scarcity has the same thing as scar and scared. They have the same root
Scared.
word because they come from the same etymology, and it's a lack of belief and a lack of faith. So you have to keep on removing those stones and have a free feeling of giving, and removing those stones so that the flow can continue moving, so that the abundance of the universe
Absolutely.
can continue moving through you.
That's beautiful, beautiful. And the only thing I want to add to that is that money is just energy.
Yes.
If you are, if you are evil in your behaviors, then having money is gonna uh, make you more of an evil. That it becomes the root of evil. But if you are have good intentions, then money becomes a way of uh, serving other people.
It's a tool. There's a in Kenyan,
It is a tool.
interestingly enough, the word for water is maje. So it almost sounds like
Uh-huh.
magic. The word for magic, I mean for water in Kenyan.
Right.
And
So
then,
so
one
yes,
last thing, like funny story, if you don't. My old
of
boss,
course.
used to say, money doesn't. He said, money doesn't buy you happiness, but being broke doesn't buy you anything.
That's true. So just for the viewers, just pay attention to your money blueprints.
Yes,
What are
I
your
love
beliefs
that
about
term.
money?
So, would you like to sum up? Is like finish up and give us like something else that our viewers absolutely should know about the wheel and how it relates together now that we've gone through the spokes?
Yes. So, as we said, Wheel of Well-being focuses on the wholeness of the person, not just the mind, not just the body, not just the spirit, because we believe that even the slightest breakage in one of these spokes doesn't allow your wheel to move smoothly. So
Yeah.
pay attention. I mean, at some points we need to pay more attention maybe to our relationship spoke. At some point maybe we need to pay more attention to our physical spoke. It's not that I'm saying that at every given moment you need to spend time with all those 8 spokes. But pay attention that which spokes you need to improve upon, which spokes you need to have some healing into. So, and then think about how much energy you're giving to one spoke and neglecting the other spokes. So just, and one thing that I want the viewers to do is to go to wheelofwellbeing.com. There is a test, it's a free test that you answer some questions and it gives you the answer that in what areas you're doing really well, in which areas you need a little bit of attention or tune up, and you need to be more mindful of the certain spokes. So take that quiz and just have a visual about where your wheel is and what needs a little bit of more love, actually.
Yeah, that sounds like such an amazing tool for people to evaluate where they are and where they want to
Exactly.
be, and for them to level up, as I like to say,
Yes,
level up your life.
exactly. And no matter, even if your wheel is really round and in balance, there is always room for expansion.
Always.
There is always room for growth. So don't get stuck in one position and say that, I'm good. You can always be better. And
Yes.
that's what we strive to.
Yes.
Always growing, to be not to be in competition with others, but to be in competition with ourselves. Every day that you wake up, the goal needs to be better than yourself that you were yesterday.
Yeah, to continue completing yourself. Your
Absolutely.
cities are always great cities always kept expanding upon themselves,
That's right.
in improving. And as we grow as people, hopefully we'll continue that way, like just like the Constitution, to be a more perfect union. We could be in more perfect union with our entire being, with all of our spokes and our entire will. Well, Coach Bonnie, speaking of spokes, you're a brilliant, beautiful spokesperson for the will. And I thank you so much. And it's such a pleasure. And I can't wait to have you back again.
And I thank you for your wisdom, for your beautiful words. It makes it easy to converse when I'm with you. Thank you so much.
Ah,
I
beautiful.
appreciate
Thank you
you.
so much. I appreciate it. Well, that was
Thank
Coach
you.
Bon. That was the wonderful Coach Bonnie breaking down all the spokes on the wheel and how to stay balanced. And we're about to balance the program with a little bit of music, and we'll be right back.